going on here, and where did this come from? Right, where are you from, Andrew?
New York.
New York. So, are there homeless people in New York? Right, there's homelessness in New York, but does it have to be that way, right? Like, what is the next set of questions that you can ultimately ask? And so the experience of going and seeing with your own eyes and smelling with your nose what it's like, and being in a different part of town maybe, or being with a different set of people who you would not otherwise be around, gets you to start to see the root of the issue, which you then, if they do their jobs, moves you with a group of leaders like that you went with your school, or maybe that you organize yourself to say, okay, there is homelessness all around us right now. That is unacceptable in my view, and I'm going to do something about it, right? And now, Habitat doesn't even need to be involved anymore. You do it on your own, right? Habitat didn't need to ask you to do it. You just organize it because you don't think it should be the case that there are people without a roof over their head in your tent. Amazing act of leadership, right? If you think about it at that level.
But at the same time, if that's economically inefficient, are you not simply spreading economic inefficiency?
Well, to go with that, so if that's Habitat's mission, right? If it would actually be cheaper in many ways just to get some volunteers, like almost like Brazil, right? And instead of just getting anybody, just getting engineers and just getting carpenters, what would that do to the overall mission? Narrows it tremendously, right? So now, how many people have heard of Habitat for Humanity, even if you've never done a build?
Yeah.
Right? How many people, and you know what it is, so even if you just read about it, it's now already a trusted institution that even if somebody just asked you, hey, I'm going to go down to Habitat on Saturday, you know what it is, you know how to get involved, and you know what it is that you're ultimately trying to do, right? That only happens because of people like you guys who have gone and volunteered and been involved and then share with others. And so in many ways, the leadership that you are providing as leaders of Americans elect is about catalyzing this experience, this choice, right? You're trying, the leadership really at its heart, and this is a definition that's not mine, is just the choice to lead, like the choice to step up and act, right? That is leadership. That is an act that you are offering someone to be able to do. I'm saying it again and again and again because I just really want this to sink in. And you're trying to catalyze this process where ultimately people around you act on their own without your input, right? If Americans Elect started with 10 people in an office, like that will not grow or do anything unless other people around the country, just like everyone here, starts to take ownership of it and do it on their own, beyond any ask or control or anything from the national office. Yeah.
I just want to bring something up, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I've seen this. We've all seen what America's concept of leadership looks like, and it all hasn't always been. It's called leadership, and it all hasn't always been pretty. And so I guess I just want to. I'm not sure if it's a question or a statement, but I just want to say that being really clear about what we really, and if there is a sincere intent to authentically lead, that's great. But I just think that the time for individual will is over. Like the man on top of the mountain, that type of thing. So in saying leadership, I think we need to be really clear about what we not asserting our individual will of what we think that. Not individual will, but more of a collective vision of what leadership really is, more of a sharing kind of thing, and something that comes from the heart. And I know that Americans Elect, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that's what it was, but I'm just saying maybe a little bit, could we be more clear about what we're saying? Do you know what I mean about leadership? Because leadership, what it looks like out there in the we're leading. Well, but they're not even representing their constituency, us. It's like the 1% trying to represent it. I mean, it's.
Absolutely. So, does anybody share Montana's sentiment? Just raise your hand. Kind of feel kind of what she's feeling. Okay. So I'll offer back, and thank you for sharing that. This is what we mean, right? This is how we will lead. So this is what we're saying. Kind of like these are our values. This when we step up. This is what leadership looks like. It looks like a relinquishing of control. It looks like a co-creation with others. It looks like. Right, so that's what we mean in our group by leadership. That's kind of what I think we've been talking about so far, but continuing to clarify that is going to be really important. So I appreciate you bringing that up.